What up, YouTube? It's your boy Banks, and we back in the building. You feel me? It's True Talks, cause True Talks. All right, let's get straight right into it. So you already know, man. Obviously, last night was probably the most important game of the Raptors season this season, which was Game 3 at home, and they started out the gate. Running. Went on a comfortable. I'm pretty sure they went up 17. The largest lead that they had. Let me just make sure, but for the most part, they start out the first quarter just elite defense. Like I said, starting out the gate with just playing proper game plan, and in terms of just yes, the largest lead was 17. Proper game plan, like what I said in the previous video prior to this game. I was saying, okay, you know what? Don't overhelp drastically. Don't overhelp too much. You know what I mean? Force mans to one-on-one, make them make tough shots, and then from there, because now they're going to be missing shots in those scenarios, you could now push the tempo, score in transition and stuff like that. And even though you're in a half court, you're not necessarily half court because it's all off of transition. It's more up tempo and it's just fast paced type of offense for the Raptors, while you force the Sixers to play more of a slow pace type of offense because it's majority one-on-one. And that was the perfect game plan to start out. Don't overhelp, random double teams to Embiid randomly with active hands and stuff like that, and just playing great defense. And in the one-on-one, I'm expecting great cutoff ability, great defense, forcing, Harden to be grounded and, throw up those paint layups, that's grounded, hands up, get a 1-2 block and just contact and just everything contested. He's trying to draw the foul. Your hands aren't there. And you're just playing great straight up defense. And from there, you're going to get out the gate running. And then from there, you just chain reaction and then it's over basically. And that's why the Raptors went up 17 in the first quarter, first half. And I'm like, okay, this is exactly the game plan that's being implemented. It's what elite looks like. And then what happened now? All of a sudden, the Sixers, Embiid, especially even Tobias had stretches, and Tyrese Maxey just started blowing by the Raptors. Just terrible perimeter defense, blow by why, and just one-on-one scoring all off of that. Sometimes mans have to help because of the blow by, and then now open shots, and then they just started again for 3 games. They've shot efficient 50+%. That's reckless. That's horrendous defense. 50+% for 3 straight games. There's moments where the Raptors play great defense, and those are the times that they have great stretches, and those are the times that they normally are going on a 13-0 run or 18-1, 18-2, whatever the case is. They're normally going on runs during those stretches, but then it's not consistent. It's not maintained for the whole, 48 minutes. It's not maintained, and I know it's hard to maintain that level of defensive intensity, or not even intensity, just level of defensive IQ, where you're locked in for a whole 48 minutes. You could do that. Obviously, that's the difference between a great team and a good team and championship team and just a team that's going to get bounced out, obviously. But again, just doing it for stretches is definitely not what I expected. I thought that the Raptors could put it together for 48 minutes, especially because they've been great defensively for the most part. That's one thing they've had to hang their hat on. It's been their defense. They haven't really been shaky and been wavering with their defense, especially with Scottie. And I guess that's majority of what they lose with Scottie. It's similar to that's why I say Draymond Green 2.0. The kind of, the main assets and the things that he brings to the table and where you feel it the most is definitely always going to be on the defensive end, and then somewhat of the playmaking on the offensive end. And just Scottie being able to take advantage of mismatches and, punish, Green if he has Harden on him, punish him as well too, like how OG was, and Scottie will be able to take advantage of that. Something that you're expecting Pascal to do with Tobias Harris that he's not doing. You get what I'm saying? And Scottie's injury, definitely you could see in these moments, that little 1-2 boost, especially him guarding Harden for majority of the, just pressing him and, slowing him down. It makes sense that when Scottie was there, Harden had his worst output in 6 for 17. And now that he's not there, Harden will have moments where he's struggling, but then he'll get a switch with Thaddeus Young on him, or he'll just blow by like Van Vliet. He'll just do the double cross and then blow by him, even sometimes blow by Trent. Like, and I'm like, dog, what are y'all doing, fam? And then now it makes it seem like the game plan is just erased. That Banks don't know what he's talking about. When it's cap, even though when I'm wrong, I'm still right at the end of the day, because in some way, shape, or fashion, something that I'm saying that should be implemented, when it's implemented, it's working at a full-fledged, at a high-octane level. And what happens now? Happens that, they stop doing it. The intensity decreases. No IQ, just, bad reads, etc. And just mental mistakes. And then, the Sixers are a good team that they're going to take advantage of that. They're going to take advantage of that, especially when they already have this confidence of hitting on all cylinders in terms of just shooting when they're open for the most part. You know what I mean? And then that's what happens. And then obviously now the second half, Joel Embiid starts getting more into it and, killing one-on-one, abusing, driving to the cup, stuff like that, just taking advantage. And then now the confidence is at all-time high. And still the Raptors were in a close game. Still the Raptors could have taken the game if just Precious made one of the free throws. It's like, it just comes down to, it's just the Raptors just, as much as it's like, okay, the Sixers, literally both Raptors and Sixers have deficiencies in terms of closing, playoff closing. That's what we're talking about. The Raptors have no creator, and then the Raptors, they're not. This is why I try to tell people when they were always saying, oh my God, Raptors are a great team. It wasn't just Kawhi. Yes and no. But for the most part, it's more so leaning to the side of it was mainly Kawhi and then everybody else second. These guys could do the little things when Kawhi's the focal point and he's focused on it, stuff like that, and he's going to close. That's why everyone's going to rise to their best level version of themselves. But when you now remove the Kawhi and then now the defense is actually focused on you, are you going to be the best version of yourself? No, because there's nobody to escape. There's nobody to game plan and worry about. We focus on you now. Now we're going to force you to your weakness. Now we're going to do X, Y, and Z. It's different when man's force you to your weakness and try to do things to stop you and you still are scoring. You still are efficient. You're still elite. That's always a different level of a different level of hooper. And Pascal isn't that. No one on the Raptors team is that. Van Vliet, that's why you see the struggle. Pascal, you see the struggle. Like, this is why, for the most part, I was always picking the Raptors because I had, kind of like a vision, and I envisioned the Sixers being the same thing the Raptors are. Obviously, a better version. They have Embiid and they have Harden, and don't get it twisted, right? If they had to have half-court creators, they have better versions of it. And they still have more than what the Raptors have in terms of creators. You add Maxey to the mix. You add Tobias. That's 4 guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether they play and operate at that high-octane level, I thought the Raptors' defense could force them out of the rhythm if they implemented it from jump. But what happens when you implement stuff too late sometimes? It's not enough. Man's already hot. They already have the rhythm. You implement this in game 3. They already had 2 games under their belt of just no budging confidence. Not even budge, not even a tested, not even, you know what I mean? So now by game 3, they're going to have a moment of struggle. They go down 17, but it's like, we already hot, fam. We already have that confidence. Let's turn it on now. And they're going to score one-on-one. They're like everything you game plan for them to do. They just been hitting and just hitting on all cylinders opposite of what you game planned them for. And it's like that sometimes happens, but regardless, like the Raptors could have won the game. Precious atrocious. Pascal can't even kill mismatches. Can't even kill Tobias, who you're supposed to be killing. Tobias is padding you, fam. Like, what are we talking about? Tobias is padding you. This is what I'm trying to tell people. Like, you have this, like, Pascal this, Pascal that, Pascal this. And I'm trying to tell people from time, I'm like, the chances that this guy actually turns it around and when he's the number 1 option is not going to happen. He has no bag. And he doesn't have the strong mental game like Giannis has. 0 points in the second half. 0 for 5 in the second half. You went 6 for 11 in the first half and 0 for 5 in the second half. And yes, getting 0 points in the second half. We've seen the most elite player right now in the NBA, KD. It has happened to. But what's the difference? The Celtics are they're shading him, they're triple teaming, they're double teaming, they're gapping, they're shrinking the floor, active hands, reaching, being physical, pushing him off his spots, bumping him. Stuff like that. They're playing hella aggressive, unconventional defense on KD to force him out of what he's doing that the defense is attributed for why that's happening. Pascal's getting regular coverages. They're not double teaming him. One-on-one with Tobias. Not that much shading. Not like You're not getting the same type of treatment that KD's getting, and you're going 0 for 5 in the second half. That's all you. Not even being aggressive, not even getting shots up. They're not preventing you from getting the rock. You're fumbling the ball in the clutch. Like, what are we talking about? To the point I'm yelling, give OG the ball. Give OG the ball. This would have been a whole different closing outcome if Mans gave OG the ball from time. You know what happens? OG misses a free throw. Precious misses a free throw. That would have been game. You can't be missing free throws in the clutch and expect to be the team that's already confident against you. This is where, you know what I mean? That's part of closing. There's so many aspects to closing. That's part of closing. IQ's part of closing. Going to the hot hand OG, that's part of closing. Why are they still going to Pascal time and time again to just ISO, fumbles, frail hands? Like, why are mans doing that? How many times have I told mans that he doesn't have a bag? He should be just getting it on the back end of the offense, just within just free flow and movement, you know, screen roll and all that type of stuff. But he should not be getting one-on-one looks, especially when his mismatches aren't converting early in the game. Then you move away. He can get his opportunities, get his one-on-ones here and there. But if he's struggling, move over. That's like, what are you keep going to him for? Why? Enough is enough, man. Dog, y'all have to, like, bruh, at some point, mans have to come over to the side where I say, like, look at the money Pascal's getting. Look at the number one option and the looks and opportunity that Pascal's getting. When literally you should be going as a three-headed monster, Van Vliet, OG, and Trent. That's what you should be focused on. OG literally has shown you promise now. OG has showed you that, yo, moving forward, change the dynamic, yo. He should be the number one option. Him, Trent, or OG, one of them. Or him, Trent, and Fred should one of them. I even rather go to OG, post up, like, develop his bag more. He's right there for the taking. And I was saying, OG has to be aggressive. OG had a wonderful and a great series. A cooking. That's where the promise is. How do you see this in real time and not say, you know what? Forget the game plan. Pascal, set the screen, move out the way, go to the corner. We gonna enable OG. We gonna enable OG. That's an adjustment you could make. It's clear for the take and you see it. I've been said, yo, OG be aggressive. He's being aggressive and man still don't give him the rock. I seen him have Maxi on him bare times and he wants it in the post OG, you still yourself have to go to the post and just demand it. Just sit on the block. Force it. Don't move out the way. If you're in Pascal's way and he gets a charge, he gets a charge. Give me the ball. Force it. Sit on the block. Don't move. Don't go to the corner and okay, fine, and I'll space out. No, sit on the block. Force it. Put your hand up. Tell him go high post. Give it. So you go high post. Do the entry pass. Give it to me. Give me the rock. I'm ready. It's more proper. I'm gonna serve him like hot spaghetti. Come on now. And it's on the Raptors to recognize that, but no, the same shit every time. Pascal, Yes, he was shooting some middies. Yes, you know, earlier on he was hitting them. All that stuff, and that's great. But now when the pressure is against, and now they're coming close, they're inching closer and closer and closer. What happens now? Is your bag still the same? Is your confidence still the same? Is your aggression still the same? Is your take still the same? No. You can see him shy away, fumbling the ball, palms literally sweaty. Literally. Like, come on now, yo. And y'all always getting at me saying, oh my God, Pascal, y'all NBA, he's this, he that. Come on now, stop it. Stop it. Look what Tatum's doing. Look what these, come on now, yo. Come on now. It's not the struggle, that's it. You don't even take shots no more? One shot in overtime as the main guy? 4 shots in a whole half? 4 shots in a whole half, yo. 4 shots in a whole half. You had 11 in the first half. 4 shots in a whole half, 1 in overtime. Like, are you serious? 0 for 5. That's crazy. 0 for 5 for 24 whole minutes, plus another 5. 29 minutes you went, oh, dog. That's crazy. When man's playing regular coverage. That is abysmal. That is atrocious. That's sickening. That's what that is. That's disgusting. Not even in a good way. Not the disgusting, you better trust in that I be saying. No. Like, I want to vomit hearing that. That's what that is. Come on now, yo. Like, and y'all still y'all still find a way to still praise Pascal, praise. And no one's saying that, like, it's not like y'all did this. It's the fans that did this. Y'all keep all the time over boosting things. Keep praising. When yet I promise you, if mans didn't praise, they will be forced to let Pascal just play Pascal and not give him the ball all the time like he's the number one option, like he's the best guy, like his money's getting paid, he has to close for the Raptors, and go to him like that. They wouldn't be. But y'all enable this. Pascal this, Pascal that, all, franchise player, da. And then now they go to him like he's a franchise player, and now look. When you should be going to OG, Fred, or Trent. Like I've been said. Horrendous. And then now on the Sixers side, like, bruh, Embiid, this could be the shot. That game-winning shot could be the shot that actually propels him. And it's crazy that, like, he had all the crying memes and stuff like that. And so, for the Kawhi shot and how, Game 7 in 2019, he was crying and whatever. And just in the playoffs in general, Embiid hasn't really gotten over the hump in terms of the clutch play. Like, he's had a lot of times where he's padded or he's just struggling and missing in the clutch. Even versus the Hawks last year, like, he's part of all of that. As much as they blame Ben Simmons as much as they want to, he's part of all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because in the clutch time, I don't trust mine. And that's why I picked the Raptors. It wasn't necessarily that the Raptors are the better team. It's not necessarily that the Raptors have the better personnel and the half-court creators and stuff like that. No. It's more so the lack of trust in the Sixers, that if the Raptors do their defensive game plan properly and lock up and force mans to one-on-one, they will struggle, and it's going to be the same results that it's always been. And that's where this, it's like, okay, that's what the Sixers have been, and that's what, they're known to be if you really pay attention. But this is why this shot can propel Embiid. Like, even the close-in was atrocious on both sides. It's not like the Sixers played a flawless game. Opportunity the Sixers had, nope. Padded, missing. Why would you take that shot? Type of stuff was going on with the Sixers. On the Raptors end, horrendous close-in. Why would you take that shot? Same thing going on for both teams. The difference was that now, literally both of, nip and tuck, back and forth type of game. What happens? Embiid hits a turnaround fadeaway in the corner, the left corner three. And it's not even like it was luck or anything. Literally, swish. Like, parity at its finest from a 7'2" big man. That's crazy. Like, you can't watch that as much as, like, your heart is shocked and stuff like that, and, you're mad. You can't watch that and be like, you're watching that like, that's hella elite, yo. When I seen that in real time, even though I wanted the Raptors to win Game 3, you're like, God damn, that is disgusting. In a good way. You better trust him. And that's maybe what he's propelling himself to be. The trust factor to be, to be alleviated, or in the trust factor to just be like, you know what? We trust you, fam. We trust you, fam. And that's maybe where you could see that, okay, you know what? Embiid might have just turned the corner. Embiid, it's the same thing similar to Middleton in game 1 or game 2? I think it was game 1 last year, how that's what propelled him. He got over the hump. He had a game-winning shot, which he normally hasn't had in the playoffs. Normally, they don't go to Giannis. They always go to Middleton, and he's been missing, struggling. People are like, yo, Middleton's not that guy. Giannis can't go perform in the clutch. This is a bad dynamic. And then what happened? Game 1 versus the Heat, it could have been the same shit like the bubble in 2021 last year. And then what happened? He hits the game winner, and then boom, they just go out and sweep the Heat. Sometimes it's one game, and then not only that, Middleton is just a whole different monster moving forward from that game in that whole stretch run, in that whole playoff run, where you could see every series he's having bigger games and bigger games and bigger games, more impact, more shot creating, with more pressure. It's just different. And this is what could be the same version for Embiid in terms of the game-winning shot, where now it's like, okay, I'm hella confident in the clutch. I'm hella confident now in just the playoffs in general. Nothing's going to phase me. Just from that shot, I got the monkey off my back. That's what always happens. Sometimes it's just one shot for a player. One shot, one game. That's all it is. And then the monkey's off your back and the floodgates open. And this is what I think it could be for Embiid. Now, with all of this said, it's definitely over for the Raptors. They're not coming back from 3-0. Again, I know a lot of people saying, oh my God, Raptors can make history and this and that. Like, this is where Scottie is definitely going to be, is going to be missed in terms of just padding Harden and stuff like that. And not only that, another point, Harden, when he actually fouled out the game, was definitely something that enabled the Sixers in a better way. Yes, it's like, oh my God, Harden had 19 and Harden, did X, Y, and Z for him, for the Sixers, for it like to be like, what, he's cooking, he's needed, he's crucial, he has to be on the floor. Him fouling out is like, oh my God, the Sixers still beat you and he fouled out. No, that actually benefited the Sixers, because what happens is when Harden and Embiid are in the game together, and you'll probably see maybe my Sixers not maybe, but you'll see my Sixers not trusting in all the criticisms and critiques that I've given about the Sixers will come to fruition more so in the second round and beyond versus those good, great defensive teams, where you'll see how they're going to play, right? You're going to see how they're going to play Embiid and Harden, or how they're going to force them. And not only that, you're just going to see that, for the most part, Harden and Embiid are going to start clashing, or will clash, because, and you've seen it in this game too versus the Raptors, where they have a lot of moments where they're having scoring droughts, and that's largely part due to just the switch everything, forcing Harden to one-on-one, where he runs a P&R with Embiid, then you switch it. Embiid has a mismatch, but Harden feels like I have a mismatch as well too, so now I'm going to one-on-one and dance. And then Embiid's out of rhythm, and then now you're getting late clock scenarios, late clock shots contested, late clock shots in terms of Harden's step back or whatever, tries to go to the rim and he might get punched, probably will be, and it's just everything is just in the back end of the clock that now Embiid is not getting the rock, he's not touching it, he's out of rhythm and stuff like that, where now Harden gets subbed out because he's in foul or he fouled out. That's when now you go to Harden as the focal point, or sorry, Embiid as the focal point of the offense. You go to him nonstop, you go to him, and now he gets doubled, an open shooter, or a guy cuts and stuff like that. And he's just involved usage-wise in terms of just their closing, plays and stuff like that. Whereas opposed to, like I said, Harden on the bench, it's like Harden, and then Embiid. Harden, and then Embiid. So when you look at it from that perspective, that's why I say Harden being out in this game specifically enabled Embiid to now get more into his bag, get double teamed, make it easier for other people, stuff like that wouldn't transpire with Harden on the court. So when you look at it from that perspective, man, like, it's tough, man. It's tough and it's unfortunate. Again, the Scottie injury drastically changed the series. I still thought they could win this game 3 and then focus on game 4 and come back and still probably win the series in 6, win 4 straight, or even if it goes 7. But I thought they could win 2 at home, most definitely, just by, the defensive principles and just adjusting your defense. And then from there, you kind of see, what happens and what transpires. And it came down to basically a game winner. So it's not like they got blown out. It's not like you can guarantee, say the Sixers guaranteed we're going to win. It came down to a game winner. And the Raptors did, they did a great job in terms of just earlier on in the game. And then things turned around and things changed. Foul trouble as well. You had that too. It's just, it's just when you look at it from that perspective, man, it's just, and actually when you look at it, they shot roughly around the same amount of free throws. So wasn't even foul trouble. It's just mainly, like I said, is mainly like, Raptors also too getting turnovers and then they're scoring in transition. But for the most part, Raptors beat them in transition. And it was just mainly come down to, just, it came down to just, them hitting shots one-on-one and blowing by. That's the main thing. Blowing by defenders easily to now where their shots aren't as contested as they should be, because now swing, rotation, corner, swing, rotation. You know what I mean? So it's like, when you see from that perspective, man, it's tough as, where the Raptors lost. And right now there's definitely no hope. They just have to win one and just not get swept. That's all they have to do. Win game 4 and not get swept. Apply the same blueprint, and just for the most part, when you go up, because the Raptors they comfortably went up in the last game, so they're at home, they might go up again. Now you just have to tweak some things and adjust some things when now the lead is getting cut down, the deficit is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. So from that perspective, it's just, man, the Raptors aren't what elite looks like, and it's clearly seen, and it's hard to win when your main guy literally looks worse than a role player. And that's what happened. So it's like You already are at a deficiency in terms of you don't have a half court creator like that. Yes, you have OG. Yes, you have Van Fleet. Yes, you have Trent. But we're talking about a superstar creator where like the attention is drawn drastically to that person and the ability to make tough shots drastically they could do. So, you know what I mean? It's just when you don't have that blueprint and you don't have that at all, it's like, dog, you already have a half court liability. You already have no creator. Then on top of that, now you don't want to defend properly. You know what I mean? On top of that, now your number one guy's palms is sweaty and moving like a role player. Like, you're just putting yourself at more of a disadvantage, and more of a disadvantage constantly, especially with Pascal decreasing his level of play. Like, that's horrendous, man. That's horrendous. Anyways, let me know what y'all think. You know, again, it's rough. I know it's a rough day for a lot of y'all. It was a rough night because, again, that shot heard around the world was literally, it's just poetic justice for Embiid, man. And that could be what propels him. So, you know, I know a lot of Raptors fans are sick right now and their stomach is turning, but, you know, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. The positives, especially, you know, it's basically a great season for the Raptors. You know, the positives for this season was, you know, they turned it around to be in the 5th seed from where they were at. Mans thought they weren't even going to make the play-in and stuff like that, and they turned it around. But again, you see now for 2 straight times, the bubble and now this playoffs where Pascal's number one option is not it. So now maybe seeing that happen now and come to fruition, maybe it's like, you know what? I'm not doing that shit. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And when you look at it from that perspective, man, it's tough. It's just tough, man. It's just tough, man. It's just tough when you think about it. So, you know, they had a great season. Like I said, it's over. They're not winning this series. It's done. And, you know, this series came down to a Precious and an OG free throw. It literally did. It came down to that. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So, you already know, man. It's True Talks. Share, like, and subscribe. We out here. There's no doubt here. There's no drought here. You feel me? I appreciate y'all. You already know. And I'm out, man.